Welcome to Fenway Park in Boston. You're watching Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on CTV.
Well, Junior Felix, the talk of this town, he's had 4 RBI days back-to-back, and the researchers at Fenway say it looks like his inside the park grand slam was just the 3rd ever hit in this historic facility. There was one in 1952, another in 1961. That looks to be the only previous inside the park grand slam home runs. Can he do it again? Not likely, but he is hot. He leads off, followed by Fernandez, Gruber, and Bell. Then McGriff at first base, Mosby patrolling center field. Ernie Witt catches today. The DH is Rance Monolix. Nelson Liriano's held a hot bat. He hits in the number 9 spot against right-hander Mike Smithson, prone to early inning disasters, especially home runs, although he certainly has cut down on those this year. Defensively, here's the support for Smithson and the Boston Red Sox.
Eddie Romero is playing second place and playing Marty Barrett. Jody Reed is hitting, but he is struggling with the bat. Burks, outstanding outfielder, but it's a team that has made a lot of errors recently. It's a team that is struggling with the bats, and the backbiting is starting out between Boggs and Rich Hebner, the hitting instructor. It'll be interesting now with the 2 back-to-back days that Felix has had if they don't straighten him up or knock him down this first at bat, to see if he can handle that and stand up and still hit.
Well, there he is, set to get it underway as the Blue Jays look for not just a sweep, but an embarrassing one. They have scored 17 runs, recorded 21 hits in the first 2 games of this series. And Smithson gets set to deal to Felix. Yep, like you called it.
And don't think that'll be the only time. They're going to find out if the kid's got the gumption necessary to hang in there when they start moving you off.
Now, the Jays would have prepared him for this if he did not think of it himself in his first at bat. Here we go again, right inside to him, but he holds his ground.
Well, you can't tell anybody that. It's just something when you play the game long enough, you expect it, and you can't look for it. They might throw him right down the middle. He's actually illegal out of the batter's box, but Terry Cooney, the home plate umpire, is letting him stay right there.
Swings to that offering. It is 2 balls and a strike. Smithson's favorite team to pitch against is not the Blue Jays. Last year 0-2, a 21.94 earned run average against them. That's what he's done this year. 2-2. Lifetime, he has won 2, lost 9 with a 653 earned run average.
And it was interesting to see after they threw balls close to him the first 2 times how he was bailing out Junior Felix and waving at pitches on the outside. And that's the purpose of moving a guy off the plate.
He struck him out as a result.
Well, one of the reasons Smith, you can see his delivery. He's sidearm or low 3/4 delivery, and the pitches he throws are going right into the fat part of the left-hander's bats. Why, with the Blue Jays having those 7 left-handers with the 3 switch hitters, makes it awfully tough. And of course, we all know by now that left-handed pitchers give the Blue Jays trouble, and they usually pummel the mediocre right-handers.
And of those 3 at least, 2 of the switch hitters are definitely stronger from the left side than they are the right. Liriano and Felix. Tony Fernandez about the same from either side of the plate. Here is Tony now.
Now, what we'll have to be alert to as this game progresses, remember the Bell Keeson incident right here, and Ernie Witt in a grand slam off Keeson up in Toronto, whether or not Sanchez will protect his player. Now, that wasn't really headhunting on the part of Smith. He didn't go after Junior Felix's head. But if you're going to protect your guys, you may want to move some Boston hitters off the plate. Gary Sheffield from Milwaukee, you've got knocked down, so he took off on his teammates, saying they're not protecting me. He's the young 19-year-old rookie.
Tony takes a wave at that, holds back now. It is 2-1. Smithson glad to get past Felix and also Fernandez. He doesn't want to get the Blue Jays rolling early here. He gave up 17 first-inning runs in 18 starts. That includes 7 homers last year. Tied a couple of pitchers, Mike Moore and Jim Clancy, for the most given up in the major leagues early.
Well, he's given up 6 home runs this year. 4 have come as a relief pitcher, just 2 as a starter by Smithson. He's been a multi-purpose guy. They've had people injured like Wes Gardner disabled now. Boddicker struggled along a little bit. Boyd gone perhaps for the year.
He's getting it all going early here against Fernandez, full count. Last year he tied Olecan Boyd for the most homers given up on this staff, 25. 21 of those as a starter. He's 34 now, Smithson. And he gets back-to-back strikeouts.
And there you can see how advanced scouting helps. Frank Malzone, the great third baseman here for the Red Sox, is the advanced scout. He saw this team, the Blue Jays, 3 games and sat behind home plate, and they threw a lot of off-speed stuff and bad breaking balls. Bad breaking balls to Fernandez, and that's what they're giving him. We are having audio problems, we understand. We'll fix it as quickly as we can. We hope you have patience. And if you don't, we still got audio problems.
We don't have the
patience
pitcher.
or not.
The pitcher, if that holds firm, they're going to keep you in good shape. A 1-0 count to Kelly Gruber. Pops and foul out of play. This is a new facility for us here in Boston. First time we've seen it this year. Press box built above the old broadcast booth location. New skybox is added. The difference is we haven't got the coziness or the intimacy we used to feel at Fenway Park.
They've done a similar thing starting this year to Wrigley Field in Chicago. Skyboxes, they charge a lot. Making a few more bucks, but some of the ambience of the parks are gone when this happens.
Well, this facility holds 34,000, and everybody is close to the action here. Well, except for us now, just a notch higher, and it takes that little bit away that you enjoy. Here's a base hit for Gruber.
Well, the White Sox in their park, and that'll be gone in another 2 years. I think they're opening their new ballpark right near Comiskey Park by 91. This will then become the oldest ballpark. As Kelly gets a breaking ball, he bailed a little bit, but it stayed down the middle of the plate. Greenwell, one of the best defensive outfielders, especially for this park with that wall, holds him to a single. But tomorrow we will be in the Sky Dome.
And talk about brand new. It'll be exciting tomorrow night, 7 Eastern time on CTV. We'll take you on a tour of the Dome and then get down to that first game with the Milwaukee Brewers. In contrast, this park opened the same week the Titanic sunk. I understand the spectators last night of the opening ceremonies got a little bit wet. A couple of sources. One, they opened the roof for part of the ceremony. It had rained. And the other, I'm told, the roof leaked. Bell leans back from that pitch from Smithson. And we'll remind you that indeed the tour of the Dome at 7 Eastern time and the pregame festivities, and then Milwaukee will open it for the Blue Jays tomorrow night from the Sky Dome in Toronto. Not a seat to be had.
Every place I've been, and I was in Atlanta yesterday and Friday, and everybody's saying, how's that place going to be? How's that place going to be? I said, very simple. It's going to be the best facility on the North American continent, if not the world. Eventually. Some things may not be ready.
Yep. Romero at second base for Marty Barrett for the second day in a row. Gets the pop-up from Bell. They waste a Kelly Gruber base hit. Couple of strikeouts for Smithson. The Red Sox get their bats set to go against this man, Alex Sanchez, in Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on CTV.
I'll make him an offer he can't refuse.
I'll be back.
Hey, Stella!
Luke, I'm your father!
Love movies? Introducing the Movie Buyer's Bonus. For every $50 you accumulate in movie purchases, get a $5 e-coupon good towards the purchase of select titles at Blockbuster.
Hello, I'm a Mac.
In the left corner, coming in at 80 gigs, hailing from office desktops everywhere, PC!
Okay, what's going on, buddy?
Sales are through the roof. I'm showing the people I'm not going down without a fight.
PC, this isn't a competition, okay? Some people just want a computer that's simple and intuitive, that works the way they do.
Actually, my brother-in-law just got a Mac and loves it.
Achoo! Puffs Plus are more soothing than plain tissue. Noses prefer them if they have an issue. And now new Puffs Plus with the comforting scent of Vicks.
You know, I can't count how many times I tried to quit smoking. Then I talked to my doctor, and now I see quitting in a whole new way. It was my time to quit.
Speak to your doctor. It could be your time to quit.
Introducing Telesteps,
the world's first telescoping ladder. Made with aircraft-grade aluminum, it's lightweight and strong enough to carry a heavy load. When you're done, the one-touch release retracts your Telesteps in seconds for easy storage. Telesteps, big when you need it, small when you don't. Now available all across Canada at these fine stores.
My mom doesn't really know you.
No, we just met.
Why does she want a second onion from you?
Actually, your mom wants a second opinion on her investments.
Oh.
Sorry, office.
We were just talking onions.
Wherever your investments are, get a second opinion. A free no-obligation review to make sure you're invested in what you're richer than you think. Scotiabank.
It's a tradition within a tradition. Before Team Canada begins defense of its World Junior title, join ESPN Classic as we salute our golden boys with World Junior Weekend. Relive the rich history, the most exciting moments, and yes, a few heartbreaks. Highlights include Wayne Gretzky's World Junior debut, thrilling gold medal matchups, and outstanding performances from future NHL stars. World Junior Weekend, Heroes and Heartbreak, December 22nd to 24th, only on ESPN Classic.
The shortstop, Jody Reed, will be the first to face right-hander Alex Sanchez, making his third Major League start for the Blue Jays. Ed Romero hits second, playing second base. Wade Boggs at third. Mike Greenwald in left field. Dwight Evans in right. Ellis Burks in center. And the new DH, he may have the job if he pans out. Carlos Quintana. That's been a tough spot for the Red Sox. Nick Osowski, the ex-Cincinnati Red, plays first base, hits eighth. And then Rich Gedman hits ninth. He's the catcher. Sanchez won on the year through 2 Major League starts.
Defensively behind Sanchez, who is basically a fly ball pitcher, it still has a chance to round out as the best all-round infield in Major League Baseball with Gruber, Fernandez, Liriano, and McGriff. They've got an awful lot of talent. Basically, it's a very young team. You look at Mosby and Bell, still not 30. Witt, the senior citizen, but look at the rest of those ages.
Well, the other day we saw Junior Felix make the inside the park grand slam, and now look at this. Not quite 13.9 or 14 seconds, but for Al Widmar, he's motoring.
And he does bring the average age of the roster up a tad. Batted a couple coaches. I think they'll be there tomorrow. Ellis Clary, over 70. One of the great baseball minds in the game, will join the staff. I guess he's going to be an eye in the sky or a spy in the sky, setting defense. And Marty Patton, the pitcher of Kansas City, up here to throw some batting practice, I'm sure, help with the pitching staff.
Sanchez works to Reed. Now, he has a tendency to walk quite a number of batters, more than he should, but walk them early until he gets his wings, so he starts Reed with the ball. Interesting how you made the comments at the end of our telecast Wednesday night about that very thing. Someone to be up high, chart defenses, and avoid the mistakes the Jays have been making. Well, somebody was listening.
Well, no, I think he was in the works before that, but when you got a guy like Junior Felix, he is young, he doesn't know the hitters. He has a tendency to play too shallow in right, which he can get away with in center, more spacious. But this is a tough right field. This is one of the toughest outfields in baseball. This and Wrigley Field. There are swirling winds. There's a terrible sun late in the ball game, so it's a tough field, and it's very, very big.
It's in its toughest shape we've seen for a number of years, too, with those bald patches out there. They tried some new fertilizer and chemical and didn't get the moisture they needed or some such thing to back it up, and the result is not too attractive.
Yeah, the weather hasn't been so hot either. April and through most of May.
Cows were sent out to graze here, doesn't it? And winter kill look to it.
There's an old-time writer here. Now he's retired. Cliff Keen, who was here and followed the Boston Red Sox when Babe Ruth played here, coming in with the Yankees, and when he was a pitcher for the Red Sox. And he said that Ruth refused to play right field in this ballpark when the Yankees came in. And in the Yankee Stadium, he refused to play left because it's so tough. And he was considered an outstanding outfielder with a great throwing arm, but he just couldn't handle his field.
And he's laced into left foot foul. I guess if you're Babe Ruth, you can play wherever you say you want to play.
Yeah, and I guess that's why Evans has been so good. He wins Gold Glove after Gold Glove, year after year, and handling this right field.
The first base experiment didn't last that long for him.
Well, they
have Osowski now, of course.
It was Benzinger and Evans going back and forth right and first base last year. Benzinger is now in Cincinnati. We've got a right-handed bat to hit that wall in left field.
Full count to Reed. Walked him. Last thing young Sanchez wanted to do, Fergie.
Catcher Ernie Witt, Alex Sanchez making his third start today. Just how good, in your opinion, is he going to be?
I think he's going to be good. The biggest thing we're trying to do with him right now is make him throw strikes. The first 2 times he's walked a lot of hitters, he's thrown a lot of pitches, and that's something that we're going to try and make him throw strike 1 and then go from there.
Well, Boston has the highest on-base percentage in the major leagues at .346, and that is much more important than team batting average. Getting base runners, and you saw Jody Reed will take base on balls. Boggs will, Evans will. They take a lot of pitches. They make the pitcher really pitch.
Well, Sanchez has now walked as many batters in 10 innings of work as his opponent today, Mike Smithson, has in 47 innings. 10 of them.
There is a difference. Sanchez has more tools to strike out a hitter, which helps. And the last time out against Cleveland, he sat behind home plate with some of the scouts. Sanchez threw a lot more slow curves and changeups. His first outing against Minnesota was hard curve and fastball.
Strike taken. Calling balls and strikes. Terry Cooney behind the plate. Drew Coble, Darrell Cousins, Joe Brinkman, the other umpires today. Romero, originally signed by Milwaukee as a free agent in 1976, was with the Brewers till '85 until he was traded for Mark Clear, traded to Boston.
Very valuable utility man. The third short, play the outfield, second base. Even DH'd at times last year, a couple of times when they had injuries. But he'll do a good job every place you put him. Very important man on a 24-man roster.
Known more for his defense than his offense. Hit .240 last year. Didn't get much action with Boston. .257 in 6 seasons with Milwaukee.
What he can do in this park, though, like so many right-handers, he can become a pretty good cripple shooter. You get behind in the count as Sanchez is now. That wall and left, the green monsters Fergie referred to it as, is not very far away. He may be running. Nope.
So again behind on the count. 2-1 to Romero with Reed at first base, having been issued a pass.
Now Romero looking down at Rack Slider, the third base coach. Again, that 2-1 pitch we talk about all the time. A good hitter and a good runner's pitch.
Fouls it back. You're not talking a lot of team speed here with the Red Sox. It simply isn't their style.
Well, Ellis Burks is really their only authentic thoroughbred who can. He has struggled this year. It's a big inning ball club. It always has been. Year after year, they say, well, let's make it a hit and run team to stay out of double plays and shrink our strikeouts, which they've done the past couple of years.
Actually, the best percentage success ratio is Mike Greenwell. He's 8 for 9. Sanchez just having trouble finding that strike zone. Runs it full again. Wade Boggs on deck.
Well, Sanchez had a similar problem like this in spring training with men on base. He just seemed to lose the velocity off his fastball and didn't seem really as confident as he is, and he is that. Not as much confidence. The runner's gone. Oh, man, Ernie Wood thought he had the call, but the call from... And when you're walking guys and you have control problems, those close pitches to a team that has a reputation for a high on base percentage are going to go to the other team. Ernie thought it caught the inside corner, and that was the way Ernie caught it. He was so anxious to get, with a runner going 3-2, to come out of the chute to get something on the ball and be going towards second. He may have lost that call.
Good point.
I mean, it's nothing to Ernie. He had to be out there. And all the catcher wants from the umpire, you'll tell him every time, is give me a quick call if you can.
Well, Ernie obviously thought it was there all by itself, no matter what he did to frame it. As you say, anxious to get 2. So not outrageously wild, but control problems are plaguing Sanchez nonetheless.
The guy with the highest on base percentage in baseball over the last 7-8 years is up right now after 2 just walked. Nice little wind blowing out to right field. Not much, but that summer breeze is starting to blow a little bit now. Out. Early on, it blows in.
Nice down and in to Boggs, 1-1 to him. He's nudging 300 at 297. His hit in 4 games in the last 10. Slowly turning things around. He has had his problems at the plate this year. Certainly striking out more than Wade Boggs ever has.
Well, he's had trouble with both feet. He's had a slight hamstring pull. He's had the Margot Adams problems where a lot of his teammates are still very upset at him. In fact, I don't think very many talked to him in the clubhouse. And some of them served subpoenas and they had to give depositions when they went to California. Some dodged it. Not that they were involved in anything, but just litigation, attorneys get involved, and boy, make it tough.
It's a disquieting situation all around for this team. It has been throughout the spring and now approaching summer. Sanchez waits for it to come down and just get the play at first. He does not even really look to second.
It was a high hopper, but Romero was going in all but standing up, and if Sanchez turns and looks, he might have had, in fact, I don't think might have, he would have had a shot. It's a hanging breaking ball that Wade tops. Sanchez doesn't even look. Don't see Ernie yelling. Tony Fernandez came and might have been yelling to go to second base because they might have had first and third in the double play in order instead of, and Greenwell's hitting a lot of double plays this year. A left-handed hitter who runs fairly well. He's had some problems.
Well, he's had problems overall. He's just 2 for his last 26, 7 hits in the last 44 times at bat. But having said that, he leads this team with 18 RBIs here at Fenway. He's got 2 in scoring position for him now.
Well, he's grounded into 6 double plays. Just tied for the club lead. And the double play situation might have been there if Sanchez, a rookie, had gone to second base to get the force out. What Ernie may be talking to Sanchez about, with Al Widmar looking on, is, hey, look, he's a left-handed hitter, Greenwell. We know he's not hitting, but first base is open. And you've got a right-hander, Evans, who's got a hot bat, but he is right-handed and might hit into a double play for you. But Sanchez lack of control, it's hard to pitch around a guy because he may walk the next guy.
Evans is a good candidate for that. He is number 30 in the all-time major league list of walkers. Slashed into left. It'll score 1 run.
Only park in baseball where on a base hit like that, the man would not have scored from second base because it is so shallow and it's such a short throw for a left fielder. That rack slide and the third base coach holds him up, and wisely for Evans.
RBI 32 for Greenwell, is 19th here in this part. Driving it the other way.
Got behind again. 1 ball, no strikes. Scouting reports, and remember the runner at second base, Romero, had to wait to make sure that there wasn't a shoestring catch made, so he couldn't go all out with the ball at the bat. Here comes Cito Gaston, who's going to have a little talk now with Sanchez and Ernie Witt.
Sanchez, like any young man growing up, he's heard all about what a pitcher's nightmare this park can be, and here in his 3rd major league start, he finds himself on the mound under all kinds of pressure, having gotten there with Walks to Reed and Romero. Run in already, more power to come. Dwight Evans is about to face him.
And remember, I don't know if Cito is saying this, baseball facts. We'll give you a quickie. Red Sox have not finished in last place since 1933, a record.
They're 3rd right now.
Came, some think, 1 out from winning the World Championships against the Mets. Had 1 great month last year. When Joe Morgan took the job, they won 19 of 20 and were unbeatable in this ballpark. And that 1 month of good play was enough to get them the Eastern Division pennant.
Well, they haven't had a losing season in terms of last place. Postseason, as you suggest, has been something else for them, getting bounced from 4 by Oakland last year. Ball 1 to Evans. He's been behind, I think, every hitter except, ironically, Wade Boggs.
Well, what Cito has reminded him, they don't let up and aim the ball. Keep throwing as hard as you can. And let's try and prevent a big inning. Which, when you're having control problems, is sometimes harder, easier said than done.
Short hop by Bell. And it's 2-0. Evans with his 30th run driven in.
Well, like Sanchez first start against Minnesota, he walked the first 2 guys and got in trouble, and he walked the first 2 today. A tailing fastball, looked like a 2-seam fastball that didn't have a sinking action. It just had a little tail on it right into Evans' power. He was trying to get the ball down and sink it to get a double play. And there's run number 2.
And the center fielder, Alice Burks, will be. So the left-handed hitters have done some damage. Greenwell and Evans going the opposite way off Sanchez.
And very quickly, the man they just called up, Xavier Hernandez, is starting to warm up.
It was the other move the Blue Jays made upon arriving in Boston. There he is.
So with Dwayne Bice disabled with a groin pull, Johnny Sullivan's getting Hernandez heated up in a hurry.
He's made a very quick trip up through Knoxville, AAA, Syracuse, and out of the major leagues of the Blue Jays. He's ahead now. 2 strikes to Ellis Burks.
The makeup of the pitching staff has changed in spring training, hasn't it?
Sure
Todd
has.
Stottlemyre, Castillo. We got Al Leiter. He's disabled. Dr. Andrews tomorrow in Toronto. Checked his shoulder condition.
Can't recognize that Blue Jay staff, all the changes that have happened.
Well, you just got Wells from the left side in the bullpen now. In the spring training, the staff was tilted to the left side. Oh my.
Up and gone. A 3-run shot by Burks. 5-0 Boston. Home run number 6 for Ellis Burks.
I believe this is a breaking ball that just hung, a slider, and this organization, the Toronto Blue Jays, is going to have to be very careful that they don't do to Sanchez, which they've started to do to Todd Stottlemyre, make him a breaking ball pitcher. When this pitch is his fastball, let him get his feet on the ground throwing it, especially to the Red Sox, who are basically a team that hits a lot of breaking balls. They just sit on breaking balls with men in scoring position.
Yeah, I reserved Guitar Hero 3 online. I'm here to pick it up. Great game.
I also reserved Guitar Hero 3 online.
Okay. There's only one Guitar Hero.
And you're looking at him.
Guys, anything else?
Reserve the gifts you want online, like the Xbox 360 Holiday Bundle or an LG HD TV, and they're guaranteed to be here for pickup.
Don't know jack about your credit? Stop clowning around. Log on to transunion.ca and get your credit report and credit score. TransUnion. Manage your credit, manage your life.
I'm at the big game with Hugh and Paul. Wonder how we got here? It was easy. Paul played poker for free and won the AbsolutePoker.net Dream Package. Now is your chance to win this amazing prize package, including a VIP sports package for 2, training from the world's best poker pros, and entry into the world's richest poker tournaments.
Would you pinch me? This is too good to be true.
Now that really would be a dream come true. Live the dream with AbsolutePoker.net.
The Coors Light Brewing Company asks, can you go too far in the details? Can you care too much about a quality ice-cold, easy drinking taste? And most importantly, how you gonna blame this one on the intern? Coors Light, who wants a cold one?
Hello, I'm a Mac.
My fellow Americans, I'm a PC.
Why so official?
Well, some people are giving up on Vista Mac because it doesn't work the way they want it to. Other people are going back to XP.
Really? Downgrading?
Yes, but we PCs won't give up. If your printer isn't compatible with Vista, I say, buy a new printer. If Mac's new Leopard operating system has dozens of new features, I say, ignore them. Ask not what Vista can do for you. Ask what you can buy for Vista.
Wow, you're really committed to this.
Oh, not really. I switched back to XP 3 weeks ago. So much happier.
They're here! They're here! They're here! They're here! Say hello to my little friend.
I'll make him an offer he can't refuse.
Pay the man his money.
Precious. I'll be back.
Hey, Stella!
Luke!
Stella!
Luke, I'm your father!
You talking to me? You talking to me?
That's a knife.
You're gonna need a bigger boat. I'll have what she's having.
Love movies? Introducing the Movie Buyer's Bonus. For every $50 you accumulate in movie purchases, get a $5 e-coupon good towards the purchase of select titles. Blockbuster.
Achoo! Puffs Plus are more soothing than plain tissue. Noses prefer them if they have an issue. And now new Puffs Plus with the comforting scent of Vicks.
Like a force of nature, drinking begins to destroy our world. Chaos surrounds us. Drunk driving, failed relationships, school ditched, work missed, empty promises. Our lives become out of control. Nothing seems to make a difference. We feel trapped in the worst of the storm. But the storm can end. Alcoholics Anonymous can help us weather the storm one day at a time. In the darkest days, there is hope. There is light. There is Alcoholics Anonymous. If alcohol has become a problem in your life, look us up in the phone book or visit aa.org. Alcoholics Anonymous, we can help.
After starting pitcher Alex Sanchez gave up 5 runs in the bottom of the first inning, reliever Xavier Hernandez entered the game with 1 out and runners on first and second. Red Sox catcher Rich Gedman hit a deep sacrifice fly to put runners at the corners with 2 men out. But on a full count, Hernandez struck out shortstop Jody Reed, stranding 2 Boston runners and keeping the score 5-0 Sox. Boston added a run in the second inning when Dwight Evans drove in Ed Romero from third base on a sacrifice to left field. And in the bottom of the third, leadoff batter Carlos Quintana doubled to the left field gap and scored from second base when Toronto baseman Fred McGriff's throw toward third ended up in the Blue Jay dugout. Wade Boggs got into the action with a single in the bottom of the fourth inning, and Dwight Evans followed with a base hit that advanced Boggs to second. With runners on first and second base, Ellis Burks then singled to left field, scoring Boggs and putting Boston up 8-0. In the bottom of the sixth, following back-to-back walks, Wade Boggs scored on another throwing error by Fred McGriff. The offense continued with an Ellis Burks sacrifice fly to deep center field that allowed Dwight Evans to score the second run of the inning. When we return, we'll pick up the action in the top of the 7th inning, where Toronto has the bases loaded with nobody out. Red Sox reliever Bob Stanley is on the mound, and the score remains 10-0 Bo Sox, here on ESPN Classic.
ESPN Classic is vintage cool. Call your local cable or satellite provider to order today.
Panago's got this new barbecue pizza. You know, look at this. Look at this. Barbecue. You know, I'm out here barbecuing just so that I can kind of reproduce what Panago's done with, like, slow roasted pork barbecue pizza. Slow roasted pork is like, it's so juicy and succulent, it just falls apart in your mouth. And they pair that up with fire roasted tomatoes, green peppers, hot banana peppers. They put that on a bed of barbecue sauce with mozzarella cheese. Been out here for about 3.5 hours. Not quite ready. Starting to think to myself, maybe I should have just called Panago.
Are you utility knife blades that snap, wobble, and get dull quickly? Try the new Benchmark Shark. Only at Home Hardware and Home Hardware Building Center. The Shark's patented serrated blade lasts longer, stays sharper, changes faster. The Shark devours carpets, rope, asphalt, shingles. And the heavy-duty Shark has a spring-loaded wire cutter, stripper, and crimper. Catch a Benchmark Shark today. Just $19.97. Only at Home Hardware.
Help is close to home.
From fashion fleece to the newest rugbies. All these gifts are just $25. This week, only Old Navy.
How did Scott end up playing for millions in one of the richest poker tournaments? It was easy. Scott played for free and won the AbsolutePoker.net Dream Package. Now is your chance to win this amazing prize package, including entry into the world's richest poker tournaments, a VIP sports package for 2, and training from the world's best poker pros.
Know anyone who wants to date a millionaire?
I just might. Live the dream at AbsolutePoker.net.
In the spirit of the holiday, ESPN Classic spreads the cheer with an honor roll of sports miracles. Team USA's Miracle on Ice, the Miracle Mets World Series, and the Bills' stunning wildcard game comeback highlight a 24-hour marathon of some of the most spectacular and stunning moments in sports history. Christmas Miracles, all day December 25th, only on ESPN Classic.
Well, the Jays have had their chances before. They've left 5 base runners to this point. But bases loaded, nobody out. Indeed, encouraging for Nelson Laureano. Laureano is 0 for 2 this afternoon. He has hit safely in 14 of 16 games. Was named the American League Player for a week in May, and right here gives up 1, 2.
Well, Rance Mullins did all he could. He had a good jump off first base with the bases loaded, and he put as much pressure as he could on Jody Reed, the pivot man, but Eddie Romero really gives him a nice feed. Watch Mullins get low bridged. It is not easy to double up Laureano from the left side. That's about the only way. A ball sharply hit, either back to the pitcher or at the second baseman, to his right or right at him. It's got to be it sharply.
Shutout is broken. Mosby scoring. No RBI. It is 10-1 for Junior Felix. With the lone base runner surviving over third for him. Strike 1. A little tight, 1-1.
You see a lot of pitches in that area. With him standing that close to the plate, it appears that the Red Sox pitching pattern, right to left-handed with Junior Felix, is to just keep throwing fastballs way inside and then pull the string and try and get him to go after a bad pitch.
That is how Smithson got him to start the game on a strikeout. He did single the third, reaching the fielder's choice in the fifth. But I think the first 3 pitches were inside to him to start the game.
His left foot from batting left-hand is almost right on the line. If it wasn't scratched away, it was as close as you can get to home plate.
Even when there's still some line showing it, appears to be just over it on occasion. It's as far back with that leg as he can.
Heck, Richie Hebner is the hitting coach for the Red Sox, and I used to have his foot almost in the strike zone. Trouble.
It'll drop and go to the wall. Hopping in to the bullpen for 2.
That's at least a triple. It would have been fun if it didn't bounce so high and it started rattling around in that triangle there. No telling what Junior would have gotten.
His speed exactly, so the Red Sox get a little break here with this bouncing into the bullpen.
I mean, he smokes this ball. You wouldn't think a guy, what is Junior, 5'8", but he is very solid and muscular, could hit a ball that hard. And that's going to be nice for him because some guys, they can play so shallow and they take those little line drives and loopers away from him. But with him, because he can juice the ball from both sides, you can't play him shallow. And so he's got a chance to be a very high average hitter if he can learn to lay off some bad pitches.
Well, he has the legs built for speed, but a fairly muscular upper body, which would account for his power. He is at second base. 2 gone. Tony Fernandez battling Bob Stanley. 10-2 the Jays trail. Tony looks at it outside.
When Tony starts swinging the bat well, and it's just a matter of time, he, to me, is the key. The pitching's got to be consistent, but the key for this ball club in the middle of that offense is Tony Fernandez, and I think it always has been.
Stroke to center. Burks settles under this. The Virgil Fleury in the 7th inning. On just one base hit, they collect a couple of runs. 3 walks made the difference. 10-2 Boston, 7th inning stretch at Fenway and Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on CTV.
This will get a run home, maybe more. Mosby going back, looking up, out of here and into the black seats, the hitting background. There aren't many leadoff men who can launch one like that to dead center field. Canseco bids for the second homer of the inning. If it's fair, he's got it. And it settles into the upper deck.
Oh, my goodness.
A double by Weiss and a pair of monumental homers from Ricky Henderson and Canseco.
Introducing 7 anti-aging benefits that reduce the look of lines and pores, even tone, brighten, make skin look smooth, hydrate, and lock in moisture, all in one little package of new Total Effects.
Hello, little boys, little toys, we're the dreams you'll believe in, crawling up the walls, running down your face. It's a chance, gonna move, gonna be silly boy, gonna make you cry. Now hold on to me, pretty baby.
Hello, Moto.
My mom doesn't really know you.
No, we just met.
Why does she want a second onion from you?
Actually, your mom wants a second opinion on her investments.
Oh.
Sorry, office.
We were just talking onions.
Wherever your investments are, get a second opinion. A free no-obligation review to make sure you're invested in what's right for you. You're richer than you think. Scotiabank.
Have you had a Budweiser lately? Because I can only describe the smoothness that comes from Beechwood aging. I can only tell you about the choicest hops. At the end of the day, what makes Budweiser the king of beers? It's the taste. Budweiser, king of beers.
I'll make him an offer he can't refuse.
I'll be back.
Hey, Stella!
Luke, I'm your father!
Love movies? Introducing the Movie Buyer's Bonus. For every $50 you accumulate in movie purchases, get a $5 e-coupon good towards the purchase of select titles at Blockbuster.
Step into the ring within this corner's Russ Hanber for a Boxing Day on Boxing Day Marathon. Be sure to join us as we shine the sweet science spotlight on a pair of fighters with Canadian roots. Hanber hosts 12 straight hours of classic moments from heavyweight Lennox Lewis as nails welterweight Arturo Thunder Gotti. Boxing Day on Boxing Day. The bell rings December 26th at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Only on ESPN Classic.
10-2 Red Sox, top of the 8th inning at Fenway Park as we move from one of the oldest parks in baseball to certainly the newest tomorrow for the opening of Toronto's Sky Dome. Gruber, Bell, and McGriff for the Blue Jays here in the 8th inning. Could be their final appearance, at least for a couple of them, as defensive changes should be made, I would think, to rest them the rest of the way against Boston here today in this seemingly lost cause.
Well, if you've got some injuries like Kelly Still, got that nagging ankle injury, you can get him out and throw Liriano or Lawless or an Infante out there and get a Ducey in for Bell, who's struggling with a shoulder problem. For some players might not want to come out. If they feel they've got another extra bat where they can hit the wall and pad their totals, they want to stay in. But for all intents and purposes, this is the last at bat for Danny.
And you get the bench some playing time as Morgan gave Danny Heap and Randy Kutcher after Boston ran up the 10-0 lead.
Look out.
Ooh. Luckily, he was off the padding just below row 1, but what a shot to the seats.
It's a very famous area right down there, right near the dugout, when Ted Williams, in disgust, when he popped up or struck out, threw his bat, and the ball cartwheel went right in the stands. Unfortunately, the person that hit was a friend of the Yawkey family, and there was no litigation.
Kelly strikes out. First for Stanley.
A wicked tailing sinking fastball way off the plate. I think Ted perhaps was trying to throw that bat so he'd take a bad hop and hit some of the writers, his friends that he called the Knights of the Keyboard, the Poison Pens. Be a tough pressure.
Well, he'd have to be some kind of athlete to reach the press box here now. He's throwing at the writers. these changes at Fenway Park. I guess Detroit, as George Bell swings through that pitch, still leaves us the closest to the action of any American League park, certainly. I don't know about the National League.
That's it. Wrigley used to be nice and close, not as close as there's the new sterile press box area just above the skyboxes. It does look a little
hospital-like, doesn't it? Somebody sold them a whole bunch of gray paint, I'll tell you. Gedman back shopping. Misses by a couple of rows.
I still like the thought that somebody had, and they'll never do it. They were talking about that left field fence several years ago, and somebody said they'd like to take the Green Monster and make it plexiglass and seat people behind it, so it'd be like a glass handball court. And then some others, and they talked about closing that street there, I think that's Lands, and putting bleacher seats, a lot of them right above the wall, and have people sit up there.
Or you could do what Toronto's done, build a hotel, sell the rooms for almost $1,000 a night, and then just look over the monster at the game.
Yeah, of course, if you put seats there, if Jimmy Pearsall did come back, you'd ruin his seat, because that's where he used to tightrope walk along that wall. So they said, whoops,
37
Jimmy,
feet high.
I think we're going to get you some help, they told him.
Dropping in a hurry, Burks cannot get to it. Base hit for Bell as he won that battle with Stanley. A good at bat for George, his first hit today.
Two of the brightest young center fielders in the game have come in the last few years. Alice Burks is one, and of course Devon White having a big year for the California Angels. George gets jammed, and he just found a little gap in there.
Here's McGriff. Not having a very good day, Freddie. 0 for 3. 3 errors, 2 in 1 play. I think he only had a handful of errors last year. Thought he was about half as many today as all of '88. Sends it foul the other way. Yeah, the Sox are struggling. Television stations here in the papers a little unkind. They lose 2 to the Blue Jays by big scores and call them the dead Sox. But I'll tell you, the Blue Jays would love to be where Boston is right now. They are currently 3rd in the division, 2 games below 500.
Got a chance to reach the wall.
Keep playing it on the carom. McGriff pauses, took a little too long. He was watching.
My. That is dangerous when you're that far behind. Got away with a near blunder. Danny Heap played the wall well again with the wind blowing in now more briskly straight in. Early in the ballgame, that ball's up on the screen. The wind kills it. Fastball out over the plate. Right where Freddie wants it. You'd like to pitch him up and in with the fast stuff, something hard. And the wind just kills this ball as it hits what? About 3/4, maybe 2/3 of the way up. Played very well by Danny Heap. And then when he threw to third, Bell is in easily, but Freddie was given a lot of leeway by the first baseman. Came pretty close to being nipped at second.
A little casual going in there, not quite sure whether to accelerate or not. So Mosby is at the plate now. They're at second and third, 1 out for him.
I would think that is going to be scored a single, and he went to second base on the throw in, so it's not a double for McGriff.
That is correct. Single and second on the throw. Eventually second on the throw. Actually, it's been a tough 10 days. The wind cost him a possible home run there. Bounced one squarely off the top of the fence in Cleveland. There's a base hit for Mosby. Scored at least 1. Now McLaren's got the windmill going. 2 runs come home. 10-4 now. And Freddie hit one off the top of the fence at Exhibition Stadium about 10 days ago, too, missing by about 6 inches. He's got 12 homers as it is. Jays scratching back here a little bit late in the 8th inning.
So Rob Murphy, who pitched 3 1/3 innings a couple nights ago, is warming up. He was used an awful lot by Pete Rose the last couple of years, and out pops Billy Fisher, who threw one of the longest recorded home runs in baseball history. He's the guy that threw the pitch to Mickey Mantle. Remember Freddie McGriff a couple of years ago hit the ball in the upper deck? Well, add another 200 feet to it. That's where Mantle hit his. Billy Fisher in Yankee Stadium.
He had quite a shot, and of course he had shots everywhere. Mantle did.
In fact, the funny part, he always kids me every time I see Billy. There were his manager was Joe Gordon in Kansas City, and there were a couple men on base, and I pulled a foul ball to the right field line that went out of the ballpark, but way foul. I remind you about these people who have helped so much in ilitis colitis. Some of them meats, eat them hamburgers, and participating stores for their 50-cent contributions. Anyway, I pulled a ball foul, and Joe Gordon, his manager, came and took him out and brought in the left-hander. The left-hander struck me out, and the next hitter was Mantle. Mantle hit a grand slam home run. and Fisher reminded Joe Gordon, he said, yeah, you were worried about Kubek. You forgot about Mantle.
You can't think of everybody.
Well, I can't remember anybody getting taken out of a ballgame for a guy hitting a foul ball off him.
No.
Would it be stretching it to say that they'll have a chance in this game?
Well, they have a chance to get you 6 runs that you forecast. In fact, Ernie Whitt represents the 6th right now. Leans back from that pitch. Tight, up high. It is 2-1. Mosby, with his 2 RBIs, now has 19 on the year. And Tom Henke starts to throw.
I mean, you've got to wonder with Sanchez getting called up, and then now Hernandez, what the future of young Todd Stottlemyre is within this organization. I don't think it's a secret that he has had a philosophical difference as to how to pitch with Al Widmeyer. And you wonder now if that doesn't mean that Todd, who they were saying for a couple of years is almost untouchable because one of the best right-handed pitching prospects, if now the philosophical difference is he's going to be a guy who might be involved in a trade. Look at this.
Laced into right field. What a catch there by Kutcher. Robbing her. 2 out in the inning. Well, philosophical differences, yes. But I think also the uncertainty as to what the role of Stottlemyre is has probably hurt him too, because I think, don't you agree, you'd throw probably different pitches or a different amount of pitches as a starter than you would as a relief pitcher.
This ball is hit very hard by Ernie Whitt, and Kutcher makes an outstanding play, and that ball is hooking and slicing. Well, that's part of the philosophy. Is he going to be a stopper, a starter, a long or a short relief man?
What's his role?
Do they want him to throw his fastball or his off-speed stuff? And you get that kind of philosophical difference, you wonder what Todd's future is with this organization.
Well, 7 runs would come in handy here in the top of the 9th inning, wouldn't it?
I'll guarantee you there are not too many teams in the major leagues wouldn't want that arm in their organization.
Well, when you have so many potentially good pitchers, you run down the list. We have seen some here today already, despite the problems they've gotten into. I think you got to be a little concerned about trading the wrong one. You want to hang on as long to see which direction these arms are going, because they all can't make it. They all can't be great. You don't want to make a mistake.
But sometimes you have to get a kid who's disgruntled, which I think Todd Stottlemyre is, and you want something in return. You may have to give up a prospect. And there are still some holes in the bench of this Blue Jays team. And that extra outfield, which they've tried to get, a right-handed bat, which is hard to come by, but maybe you come by it by giving up a good pitching prospect or a couple of good prospects. And you say, hey, in this division, this year, we've got one heck of a chance to win this thing with just a little fine-tuning. Another base hit.
Yeah, Mullenix keeps it alive. So the Blue Jays, runners at first and third. It's going to be another run for them now, is coming all the way home as Mosby motoring as it got away from them out in left center field.
And Joe Morgan coming out says thank heavens for Randy Kutcher's great catch.
Well say.
On Ernie Whitt. Morgan is not getting the hoots. Bob Stanley is.
As the Blue Jays are halfway, 5 they trail.
A palm ball in a pretty good spot. It wasn't outside part of the plate, but it was down. And Rance, who's really been hitting the ball well to left and left center field, going with pitches, knocks Stanley out. And Rob Murphy's going to come in.
So Stanley warmed up quickly, leaves almost as quickly. Blue Jays with 3 runs in the inning trail 10-5.
The NFL is on TSN. Sunday mornings kickoff with NFL Countdown at 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific. Then Sunday night, NFL Football Night in America. Mondays, our NFL coverage starts with Monday Night Countdown at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. Followed by the one, the only Monday Night Football. SportsCenter keeps you on top of the latest with analysis from the best in the business, including Jesse Palmer, Chris Schultz, and Chris Berman. The analysis, the experts. The NFL is on TSN.
It's the most powerful, most spacious Accord ever. Now for the holidays, lease the all-new 2008 Accord LX sedan for $298 a month at 2.9% for 48 months. With $0 down, freight and PDI included. Or choose cash incentives of $1,000 to $5,500 or special lease and purchase finance rates on selected other 2008 Honda models. Plus, we pay the applicable 1% GST now. A new deal for Canadians, a new Accord for you. From Honda.
Okie dokie artichoke.
In the world of illegal underground table tennis.
Or, as the Chinese say, ping pong.
Find out who has the balls to be the best.
You got me swatting flies? Nah, flies. Bees.
Win a chance to showcase your skills. Play a pro at the 2008 Killer Spin Spinvitation in Chicago. Enter at dose.ca.
Let the games begin.
Balls of Fury on DVD Tuesday.
It pays to be prepared, especially when it comes to your credit. So before you make a big purchase, log on to transunion.ca and get your credit report and credit score. You could get better rates and save hundreds, even thousands. Now isn't that a bright idea?
How did Scott end up playing for millions in one of the richest poker tournaments? It was easy. Scott played for free and won the AbsolutePoker.net Dream Package. Now is your chance to win this amazing prize package, including entry into the world's richest poker tournaments, a VIP sports package for 2, and training from the world's best poker.
Know anyone who wants to date a millionaire?
I just might. Live the dream at AbsolutePoker.net.
1997, Geneva, Switzerland. With 4 straight golds, all eyes were on Canada, as we were the team to beat. In the round robin, we didn't drop a game, but the US and Russia were on fire. In the elimination round, we gelled, and Marc Denis closed the door. In the gold medal game, Canada 2, USA 0. 5 straight golds. It was so cool to be part of that.
The World Juniors starts Boxing Day on TSN.
With the score now 10-5 Boston, the Red Sox called on Rob Murphy to stop the Jays' 8th inning rally. However, Toronto's Rance Mullinick scored from second base when Nelson Liriano singled sharply to right field. In the bottom half of the 8th inning, with Red Sox runners on first and second base, Randy Kutcher laid down a sac bunt to advance the runners for the first out of the inning. Ellis Burks then popped up in foul territory to third baseman Kelly Gruber to keep the Boston runners on second and third. Then Carlos Quintana flied out to center fielder Lloyd Mosby for the final out of the inning. In the top of the 9th, with the score 10-6 Boston, the Blue Jays' Tony Fernandez reached first base on an infield single, and Red Sox manager Joe Morgan brought in closer Lee Smith. With nobody out, Toronto third baseman Kelly Gruber drew the walk to put runners at first and second base. Then, George Bell blasted a shot off the scoreboard to bring Fernandez home. When we return, we'll rejoin the action with the score now 10-7 Red Sox, and runners at second and third base as first baseman Fred McGriff prepares to step to the plate right here on ESPN Classic.
As a kid, I used to spend a lot of time playing road hockey and dreaming of one day becoming a player. In 1991, I was chosen to play for my country. I had to compete. I had to get tough. Then you blink and it's over. You look back and you say to yourself, man, I'd give anything to have that ball hockey game back. Most people only get to dream about it. I was the lucky one who got to live it. That's cool. That's where the game is.
The World Juniors starts Boxing Day on TSN.
Introducing 7 anti-aging benefits that reduce the look of lines and pores, even tone, brighten, make skin look smooth, hydrate, and lock in moisture, all in one little package of new Total Effects. sweetie.
Get better visibility with new Reflex wiper blades with WetTech. WetTech is a chemical that coats the windshield to repel and bead moisture. Its hingeless arc design resists snow and ice buildup, helping to create a streak-free wipe. Winter driving starts at Canadian Tire.
Don't know jack about your credit? Stop clowning around. Log on to transunion.ca and get your credit report and credit score. TransUnion. Manage your credit, manage your life.
They're here! They're here! They're here! Say hello to my little friend.
I'll make him an offer he can't refuse.
Pay the man his money. Precious. I'll be back.
Hey, Stella!
Luke!
Stella!
Luke, I'm your father!
You're talking to me? You talking to me?
That's a knife.
You're gonna need a bigger boat. I'll have what she's having.
Love movies? Introducing the Movie Buyer's Bonus. For every $50 you accumulate in movie purchases, get a $5 e-coupon good towards the purchase of select titles at Blockbuster.
Every team has a captain. But at the World Juniors in '93, we were a team of captains. Everyone checked their ego at the dressing room door. 22 boys were called upon.
We got some good experienced players. Most of the guys have been in Major Junior for at least 3 years.
22 men responded.
We came out with a 6-1 record and really showed everybody in Canada what type of team we have.
C is for captain. C is for country. And I'll see you at the World Juniors.
The World Juniors starts Boxing Day on TSN.
Well, Tettleton and Lou Whitaker each have 13 home runs. Bo Jackson, Rob Deere, and McGriff are tied for second with 12.
As we told you, Freddie should have had at least 15. Hard luck the last 10 days, just by an inch or so missing. He got his base hit, as you see, in the 8th inning. He has 3 errors to atone for today. Would love to do it right here with one swing of the bat.
Those bases and balls and those errors. That's what the home run leaderboard looks like in the American League. Long time since a catcher had 13 home runs this early in the season. Tettleton, who was let go by Oakland.
Long time
doing. I mean,
since the second baseman for the Tigers had 13 this early in the year too, Lou Whitaker.
Frank Robinson had a lot of faith in Mickey Tettleton and let Terry Kennedy go. The San Francisco Giants 3-1 Baltimore Detroit.
1-0 White Sox over the Twins. 10-7 here, but 2 men in scoring position, nobody out. Fred McGriff with the bat in his hand.
Little slider.
Yeah, he took it there.
Freddie didn't like it. He thought it was inside and low. And you don't mind it again. It's one of those pitches that you think the guy misses the first strike. Okay, you might not say, but when you get put in the 0-2 the second strike, even mild-mannered Freddie McGriff is going to say something.
Especially in this situation. And is inside.
That was the real heat. That's the hardest pitch that he has thrown, 0-2.
Mosby's scheduled after McGriff, so he's got their left-handed bats all in a row here when they need them too. Lloyd drove in 2 in the 8th inning. Oh, it was away off the plate, but Brett swung through it.
Fastball did a little something different. The one before that sailed in. This one tailed away. We may have gone from a 4-seam fastball that rides, as they say in baseball parlance, to a with-the-seams fastball that tails away.
Out of the strike zone.
It was close. Yeah, it was one of those where it's just too close to take. Freddie stands so far off the plate. You know, what we're seeing here, and then as Ducey, or Mosby rather, what you're seeing here is why you'd like to have 2 left-handed relievers in your bullpen. Something they haven't had here in years, so that you can bring the left-hander in to turn the lineup around and get some of those weaker right-handed hitters off Cito Gaston's bench.
Low ball, Mosby.
The Jays experiencing the same thing now with only David Wells in their bullpen from the left side, and if you don't have the balance, it restricts what you can do as a manager.
Very much so.
You know, turn a lineup around early and get the other hitters, and then you still got the left-hander later on if you want to close. I mean, not that some relievers, when Smith is throwing well, it doesn't matter when he's throwing well if you're left or right. Some pitchers, they specialize more.
It's tough to manage with handcuffs on. Well, a good sign from the Blue Jays in terms of character and heart and determination, battling back the way they have here at Fenway. They were down 10-0. They've done all the scoring, 7 runs in the last 3 innings.
Aside from that, it was pretty lousy relief pitching from Boston. After Smithson went out with the injury, the game hadn't fallen apart, but close to it for Joe Morgan's Red Sox.
Stanley got Bird behind him. Now Smith battling. 2-0 to Mosby. Nice. 3-0. Ernie Whitt is on deck.
And right behind Lloyd, 2 pretty hot bats, Ernie Whitt and Mullix, both of whom are outstanding fastball hitters. That smile turned to a scowl, didn't it, in a couple of innings?
Sure did. 24 hits today, 17 runs. And there goes Lloyd to load them up.
Well, when the Jays scored 2 in the 7th, Mosby walked, Whitt was hit by a pitch, then there was another walk, and they came out with a couple of runs. Felix hit a double, 1 score on a ground ball, and now 2 walks in this inning, in the 9th.
And as you said, Whitt, along with Mullenix, has had a pretty good bat in his hand today. He made a very tough out, the line shot to right, grabbed by Kutcher in the 8th inning. And Ernie has been in grand slam situations against the Red Sox that excelled before against Bruce Kison. There's a strike. Smith, the stopper, has not exactly had a walk in the park since coming in.
Well, and just after walking Mosby, he really spotted that first pitch. He wanted to get ahead with the bases loaded. He threw it in a perfect spot, low and away.
Now it's up and away. 1-1. A run in, bases loaded, 1 out. 10-7. Boston now clings to a 3-run lead. That's all you can do in this park with these ducks on the pond. Way down low. 2 balls and a strike. Dennis Lamp still throwing for the Red Sox.
The Red Sox have really struggled. All you got to do is come in and read the newspapers and hear the backbiting that's going on. It's coming out in the press, and when they think they had a laugher, they might be crying pretty soon where things are going. Whoa!
Cheers!
If fair, if fair, if fair.
It is.
Summer.
Gone, grand slam. With the Blue Jays have turned this game upside. Lee Smith can't believe it, nor can Morgan. He lost a 10-0 lead. Ernie Whitt has grand slammed the Red Sox. And Cito couldn't be happier.
The former Red Sox product, Ernie Whitt. The last original Blue Jay here. And if this lead stands up, they're heading to the Sky Dome tomorrow night with a sweep of the Red Sox, and it may be 12 consecutive wins against this ball club, which is incredible itself. The old pro, Ernie Whitt. It didn't just wind around the flagpole and foul pole. It was pretty deep.
Now, it was never in danger of going foul.
Can you believe this ball game? 2-1, fastball.
Up.
Should I use the term again? Out over the plate.
Sure.
Most hit pitch in baseball. Right where you want to keep the ball away from.
Well, he got behind on the count, Smith did, and he mispitched, obviously. He was really laboring against these hitters.
A little infield single by Fernandez started off the glove of Rob Murphy and Ernie Witt. May have polished off this ball game.
With the score now 11-10 Blue Jays, the Red Sox made their 5th pitching change of the game with reliever Dennis Lamb. Blue Jay Tom Lawless reached first on a single to right field and then stole second base a few pitches later. Nelson Liriano followed with a sharp liner to right field for out number 2 and was unable to advance Lawless to third base. Blue Jays right fielder Junior Felix popped up to shortstop Jody Reed for the 3rd out of the inning. Score remained 11-10 Blue Jays. When we continue, we'll pick up play in the bottom of the 9th, right here on ESPN Classic.
Hydration for the big game. 4 minutes, 17 seconds. Carbohydrates, 2 minutes, 49 seconds. Gas and a rest stop, 5 minutes, 32 seconds. 5 minutes, 44 seconds. Still making it to the rink in time? Priceless. Introducing MasterCard PayPass, faster than cash. Now accepted at Real Canadian Superstore.
Introducing Telesteps, the world's first telescoping ladder. Made with aircraft-grade aluminum, it's lightweight and strong enough to carry a heavy load. When you're done, the One-Touch tracks your Telesteps in seconds for easy storage. Telesteps, big when you need it, small when you don't. Now available all across Canada at these fine stores.
Anna Ricketts, last one.
Rich, dark, smooth, red. 'Tis the last night of glory. Sula, Ricketts, the last Ricketts, red. The rich, the dark, the smooth, Ricketts, red.
Kegs ready.
Hello, I'm a Mac.
In the left corner, coming in at 80 gigs, hailing from office desktops everywhere, PC!
Okay, what's going on, buddy?
Well, your sales are through the roof. I'm showing the people I'm not going down without...
PC, this isn't a competition, okay? Some people just want a computer that's simple and intuitive, that works the way they do.
Actually, my brother-in-law just got a Mac and loves it.
Like a force of nature, drinking begins to destroy our world. Chaos surrounds us. Drunk driving, failed relationships, school ditched, work missed, empty promises. Our lives become out of control. Nothing seems to make a difference. We feel trapped in the worst of the storm. But the storm can end. Alcoholics Anonymous can help us weather the storm one day at a time. In the darkest days, there is hope. There is light. There is Alcoholics Anonymous. If alcohol has become a problem in your life, look us up in the phone book or visit aa.org. Alcoholics Anonymous, we can help.
Despite having given up 10 early runs to Boston, committing 4 errors, the Blue Jays unbelievably are not only back in this game, but on top of it, leading 11-10 to the bottom of the 9th inning. Hope springs eternal at Fenway Park, and the crowd, which is thinned out from its 33,760 level somewhat. The remainder stay to cheer the Sox on. Nick Osaski starts it, and he takes ball 1 from Tom Henke.
You know, there's a possibility Cito could be thinking this way. Have Henke get Osaski if he can, then come in with Wells for Gedman. Of course, Joe Morgan then could pinch at Cerrone, but there are all kinds of possibilities strategy-wise. Or Cito make the inning and the game is yours, Tom. Go after him. It's yours to win or lose. We'll find out.
But not a good start for Tom. He falls behind 2-0. Here's a man who couldn't buy a win for a couple of years as a Blue Jay relief pitcher. All kinds of saves, but no wins. Gets one last Sunday. Battles for one here and gets a strike on the foul ball. 2-1.
Perhaps got a little help from Ysaski. A little over anxious, trying to hit the ball on the screen, and went after a bad fastball.
Talk about these win situations Henke finds himself in. He has not appeared in a save situation since the 2nd of May. That was the day he surrendered the Grand Slam home run to Mark McGwire in the 9th inning. The 2-2 gets just a piece.
Boy, and barely. It was a forkball that was a little up in the strike zone. Ysaski chopped down on and barely stayed alive.
Again, the 2-2 just missed with a full count.
Ernie kind of slapped that ball away. It might have been a ball anyway, but it was a hard fastball that sailed.
Down low, walked him. So the number 8 hitter gets a pass.
It's the 8th walk given up by Blue Jays pitchers. Cito's going to go with him. He would rather have Gedman, the left-hander, hit to the big part of the ballpark to right field, then bring in a Wells where they bring in Cerrone, and he hits to the short part of the ballpark in left field. He has Ward and Wells. Ernie Whitt going over the scouting report and just making sure with Tom Henke what they're going to do with Gedman. There is a possibility as Gruber creeps in that they would bunt Gedman to try and get the tying run in scoring position. A possibility. Kelly's looking for it.
Checking back on the runner at first to Saski.
That's what they're doing. What they're doing is Saski's not going anywhere. I mean, he's not a base stealer at all. Slow runner. They wanted to see if the bunt was on and maybe something would be tipped off. And Gedman did not show bunt. Did not mean he isn't going to, but he didn't tip his hand. This kind of situation, first pitch almost every time is a fastball up in the strike zone.
There is the bunt. Henke has to settle for Gedman. He's done the job. Saski's over to second. Remind viewers that the Spruce Meadows Equestrian Competition will follow this ball game here on CTV, so stay with us for that. And stay with us for the outcome here as the tying run is over at second base thanks to this bunt dropped down by the catcher Gedman.
You don't expect big lumbering catchers to bunt, and a couple of years ago you saw very few bunts by Red Sox players. But last year when they struggled early in the run scoring department, McNamara had him bunting more. Trying to keep out of double plays. Jody Reed's been swinging the bat very well.
But not today. He is 0 for 4 on a walk, although he did line out very hard in the fifth and the 5th inning.
And he lined out to center field also in the 3rd, so he's been on some pitch.
He walked and scored in the 1st. Henke starts him with strike 1.
It's always a tough call for middle infielders here. Now, Tony Fernandez and Liriano have got to keep the runner at second base close enough so he doesn't get a good job. Remember, Lloyd's struggled throwing. Bell has a sore throwing arm. The other thing is you don't want to play too shallow so that a ball sneaks by you. You want to be able to knock anything down and keep it in the infield. So the middle infielders are kind of torn right here.
Liriano scurrying over to cover the bag at second, but a wheel, no toss from Henke.
You're going to jockey as much as you can to try and deceive the base runner at second, and then get his back as far as you can. Give the little infield chopper, but keep the ball within the infield. Prevent that runner from scoring from second on the ball that sneaks through.
The 0-1 to Reed. 2 strikes.
He didn't like a lot of hitters in the last few innings especially. Been all over Terry Cooney. Ernie just setting up in the middle of the plate, and Jody Reed said it's too low, and he's right.
He is.
But did you notice Ernie caught that? He caught it not slapping it down. He caught it pulling it up.
made the difference in Cooney's eye, obviously.
Those of you, I get letters saying, catcher can't fool a major league umpire. He can't. Just watch that center field camera.
It's been done for years.
Sometimes an umpire gets blocked out, especially on the low pitch. Trouble.
Here comes Felix. Can't get it there in time. We're tied at 11. So the walk comes back to haunt the Jays again.
A high fastball that years ago. Hanky had more of a chance of throwing it by the hitter than having a flare like this. Junior Felix almost made an unwise throw. Luckily at the cutoff man, if he really should have just gone to second base. I mean, there's no way to get the guy off second. Just go to second base, and if the throw does go awry, you could end up with a winning run on second.
Jordy Reed with his 12th RBI of the year, and I'm sure he has had none bigger than the one just now that brought home Osaski.
Well, Joe Morgan has Sam Horn from the left side on the bench, but he just doesn't have the faith in him. He hasn't been swinging the bat well, so he's going to let Romero go. Never been known for his bat.
Romero, about a .250 hitter, has a base hit today. He has scored twice, also walked.
Boy, this is where Sam Horn sits and where a manager can second guess himself. I'm sure Cito will. You know, you say, gee, maybe I shouldn't have let Hanky start the inning. Maybe I should have come in with a left-hander with Wells for Gedman. Maybe I should have brought Ward in to start the inning. I mean, there's none of them are right, none of them are wrong. It's just a matter of feel, and you know, when a guy doesn't execute, the manager gets the heat. And Tom Hanky walked the guy, and that hurt him. Walked the right-handed hitter, Osaski.
Well, you never know what to do. Part of Cito's thinking, I'm sure, concerns the fact that Ward continues to walk more than he should in his late inning situations. Hanky was looking pretty effective as he went through the 8th inning. He got the last 3 outs with a fly ball to center field, a pop up in foul territory at third, and a routine ground ball. So it looked like he had his act together. Now that act showing signs falling apart. And the Boston fans who remained are glad they did. Hanky getting closer and closer to Jody Reed.
Well, I'm just looking at my scorecard. I've got 8 walks given up by Jays pitchers, and 5 of them have come back to score. 5 of the base on balls.
Costly. The 0-1.
Oh, boy.
Gruber comes up with it for the second out.
No error, but they give an extra out in this inning, which we'll see if it comes back to haunt him. And you've got Wade Boggs up, and I would think Wells is going to come in.
Every team has a captain.
But at the World Juniors in '93,
we were a team. Everyone checked their ego at the dressing room door.
22 boys were called upon.
We got some good experienced players. Most of the guys have been in Major Junior for at least 3 years.
22 men responded.
We came out with a 6-1 record and really showed everybody in Canada what type of team we have.
C is for captain. C is for country. And I'll see you at the World Juniors.
The World Juniors starts Boxing Day on TSN.
Hey, man, come on in.
Hey, you paint the place.
Yeah? What do you think?
I don't know. Not so wild about the Browns.
Well, I'm not wild about your attitude. The Browns won 4 championships before they were even in the NFL. I mean, they're so good, they don't even need a logo. That's right. That's because you know when you're in the dog pound, baby.
Number 14, 14, 21.
If your credit score is too low, you could be waiting a long time for a lower interest rate on home loans, car loans, even credit cards. So log on to transunion.ca now and get your credit report and credit score. No waiting.
Hey, Princess.
Call my number yet?
TransUnion. Manage your credit, manage your life.
Never lose another screw with the Mastercraft Lock and Drive 6-piece screwdriver set. Just slide the lock to easily keep the screw in place, even in hard-to-reach areas. And unlike a magnetic screwdriver, it holds screws of all materials. Great tools start at Canadian Tire.
This will get a run home, maybe more. Mosby going back, looking up, out of here, and into the black seats, the hitting background. There aren't many leadoff men who can launch one like that to dead center field. Canseco bids for the second homer of the inning. If it's fair, he's got it. And it settles into the upper deck.
Oh, my goodness.
A double by Weiss and a pair of monumental homers from Ricky Henderson and Canseco.
In the bottom of the ninth, with 2 men out and a runner on base, Wade Boggs was intentionally walked. Toronto skipper Cito Gaston then called for David Wells. And as we pick up the action, he's got a 2-ball, 2-strike count on Marty Barrett, with the game still tied at 11, right here on ESPN Classic.
Wells keeps making quality pitches, and Barrett keeps fouling them off. Neat. Kind of secondary players, really, when you look at the makeup of these two clubs. Barrett and Wells in the spotlight. Not a game that's really meaningful as far as the content of 162, but this one at bat has been somewhat classical. Even though it's not Boggs against Jimmy Key, it's a pretty good matchup.
It's getting a little closer to us. How many is this?
It's a bundle.
Double figures for foul balls, I'm sure, for this man.
Aside from this matchup, you've got so much else going on with 2 outs. The outfield is shortened up. They're trying to help themselves on the throw on a flare or a hard hit ball. Look at Mosby and Felix and even Ballmer close with 2 down and a man on second. The infield has to play back to keep the ball in the infield. Look where Freddie's playing. And now Liriano wants to know from Wells, what are you going to try and do? You want me to adjust my defensive positioning? Look where Tony is, back on the grass, deeper than he usually plays.
I wonder if anybody's taken the time to keep track of the longest at bat ever in terms of pitches, in terms of time. Can't be much longer than this. Here's the 15th pitch ready to go Barrett's way from Wells.
Jody Reed has decent speed on second base and any kind of base hit. Not great, but decent. Look at this. The thing is, at second base, you get such a great jump. There are 2 outs, 2 strikes. As soon as the hitter starts swinging the bat, you start running. Because he's either going to swing and strike out, or swing, foul it off, or swing and put it in play. So it is so tough to throw a runner out in this situation if he's on second base. You're just going to running lead, and as soon as the guy starts pulling the trigger, you go with 2 outs.
Reed's made more false starts from second on the swing of the bat than some athletes do in their entire track career.
I mean, David Wells is in the position right now. I'm sure he's saying to himself, hey, Marty, just put it in play. Give my defense a chance.
He's saying, what do you think I'm trying to do?
Again.
Puts it out of play.
Has anybody got the counter on how many balls he's fouled off? I haven't. I wish I had been keeping track.
I think it's up to, what, 17 pitches now? 16 pitches, and he has to foul. He's fouled off a good dozen. 13 maybe. There was a called strike with 2 balls.
And 1 missed call strike, which should have been the 3rd strike.
Now that you mention it.
What a super confrontation, huh? Isn't this something?
Very unique to see this in this context with this much at stake. The outcome of this game right now. After all that, it will go to extra innings, but not because Marty Barrett didn't try. He takes a tumble over that bag. And he is hurt.
Did he pull something?
He sure did. He might have pulled something just before the bag.
His knee when he hit the bag, or the knee gave out before the bag.
Just before, I think. He avoided the bag almost, knowing he was out.
You know, and Freddie McGriff may have stretched. He thought he was going to stretch in his way on the throw from Kelly Gruber, and he stumbles as he tried to put a little extra effort in it. See, Freddie went to the foul side of the bag, and then Marty, I think, grabbed his knee. I don't even think hit the bag. There's something gave in the left knee, or something popped just before the bag, and he's a valuable little talent to lose. He is an integral part of this ball game.
We'll bring you up to date in his situation. What a tough way to end that contest. But we're going to extra innings in Boston on Labatt's Blue Jays baseball on CTV.
You know how they say nobody's perfect? Each and every game, I'm out to prove them wrong. I'm always reading the ice, calculating percentages, covering all the angles. Out here, patience is everything. Never show your hand, always call their bluff, and hope the odds are with you. This is my angle. This is my Sports Center.
Never lose another screw with the Mastercraft Lock and Drive 6-piece screwdriver set. Just slide the lock to easily keep the screw in place, even in hard-to-reach areas. And unlike a magnetic screwdriver, it holds screws of all materials. Great tools start at Canadian Tire.
Don't know jack about your credit? Stop clowning around. Log on to transunion.ca and get your credit report and credit score. TransUnion. Manage your credit, manage your life.
I'm at the big game with Hugh and Paul. Wonder how we got here? It was easy. Paul played poker for free in AbsolutePoker.net Dream Package. Now is your chance to win this amazing prize package, including a VIP sports package for 2, training from the world's best poker pros, and entry into the world's richest poker tournaments.
Would you pinch me? This is too good to be true.
Now that really would be a dream come true. Live the dream with AbsolutePoker.net.
They're here! They're here! They're here! They're here! Say hello to my little friend.
I'll make him an offer you can't refuse.
Pay the man his money.
Precious. I'll be back.
Hey, Stella! Luke! Stella!
Luke, I'm your son!
You talking to me? You talking to me?
That's a knife.
You're gonna need a bigger boat. I'll have what she's having.
Love movies? Introducing the Movie Buyer's Bonus. For every $50 you accumulate in movie purchases, get a $5 e-coupon good towards the purchase of select titles at Blockbuster.
Introducing 7 anti-aging benefits that reduce the look of lines and pores, even tone, brighten, skin look smooth, hydrate, and lock in moisture. All in one little package of new Total Effects.
It's a tradition within a tradition. Before Team Canada begins defense of its World Junior title, join ESPN Classic as we salute our Golden Boys with World Junior Weekend. Relive the rich history, the most exciting moments, and yes, a few heartbreaks. Highlights include Wayne Gretzky's World Junior debut, thrilling gold medal matchups, and outstanding performances from future NHL stars. World Junior Weekend, Heroes and Heartbreak, December 22nd to 24th, only on ESPN Classic.
Wayne Ward preparing for the bottom of the 11th. The game tied at 11. Brewers are trying to do what the Blue Jays did here today. Yankees got ahead of Milwaukee 10-0 after 4 innings. Deion Sanders hit his first major league home run. The Brewers are coming back. It's now New York 11 and Milwaukee 7 in the bottom of the. Sanders, Barfield, Hall, and Balboni have homered for the Yankees. Braggs and Yount have homered for the Brewers. Rich Gedman first to bat against Wayne Ward in the 11th. Gedman 1 for 4 with a sacrifice. His one hit was a single to right in the 7th inning. Ball won the count. Edmund, Reed, and Romero, the scheduled 3. Ward beginning his second full inning of relief. And it's fouled over the roof, third base side. Kansas City at California, scoreless after 3.5 innings. Texas at Seattle, scoreless after an inning and a half. Cleveland did not score in the top of the first. Oakland is now batting against the Indians' John Farrell. 2-1 to Gedman. The National League, New York beat Pittsburgh 4-3. Don Ossie, the winner in relief of Sid Fernandez. Bob Kipper took the loss. Kevin Elster and Mark Carrion homered for the Mets. And that is ball 3. Ward walked the first batter last inning and had to work nervously the rest of the inning. Red Sox left Randy Kutcher at third base. Gedman swung at a pitch that looked to be ball 4. Montreal got 5 runs in the 8th and beat Philadelphia 7-4 this afternoon. Bounced up the middle. Fernandez back of the bag. Throws him out. Not a great play, but a very good play by Tony Fernandez, and he made it look easy and gives you an idea of why he's won 3 Gold Gloves in a row at shortstop.
Yeah, to throw the ball running away from the play like that's a difficult thing.
And his sidearm flip with enough on it to get Gedman. Jody Reed takes an off-speed pitch from Ward for a strike.
When you said there were a lot of empty seats here, were you suggesting that maybe people think about coming down to the game, or?
Sure. I'm sure if they showed up, they'd probably walk right in. I don't know that for sure. They'll be storming the gates now, but why not stop by if you're in the neighborhood? Jody had a big hit in the 9th. He delivered the single that tied the game. He had to duck out of the way of that one from Ward. His single to right field scored a Sasky from second with 1 out in the 9th, tied the game at 11. Jody represented the winning run. He advanced to second on a ground out by Romero, but the Red Sox couldn't get him home. 2-2. In the ball game at Philadelphia, Montreal beat the Phillies 7-4. The Phillies continue to struggle. They might well be the worst team in Major League Baseball. Dennis Martinez got the win. He's 5-1. Andy McGaffigan saved it, and Don Carmen took the loss. To left field, Bell a couple of steps back, 2 outs. No offense, I know you probably have still an affectionate place in your heart for the Philadelphia Phillies.
Probably not many players left there that I know.
Well, you knew Schmidt.
I knew Schmidt. One of the greatest you'll ever see. Good people in Philadelphia. Bill Giles. It seems like a lot of organizations run these little cycles.
They're at the unfortunate end of the cycle at the moment. We talked about Milwaukee trying to come from 10-0 back of New York to pull out a ball game. It's now 11-9 at County Stadium. The Yankees still with the lead. They're in the top of the 9th inning. Head batter, a ball and a strike the count. Ed's 1 for 5. He singled and scored in the second. He walked and scored in the first. Ball and 2 strikes. Atlanta beat San Francisco 6-3. Derek Lilliquist, the winner, he's 4-3. Mike Krukow, the loser, he's 4-3. Darrell Evans homered, the 407th home run of his career, tying him with Duke Snider for 21st place on the all-time home run list in Major League Baseball. Romero threw the bat at it and struck out, and Ward works a 1-2-3 inning in the 11th. We move along to the 12th inning here at Fenway Park. It's Toronto 11 and Boston 11.
Il basket è la mia arte. Basketball is my art. This is my canvas. I love to spend time in the paint, painting by numbers. I play the front court, right in the middle of it all. Fans are my inspiration. I love to create plays that stir their emotion. It's all art to me. Questa è la mia passione. This is my passion. This is my sports center.
My mom doesn't really know you.
No, we just met.
Why does she want a second onion from you?
Actually, your mom wants a second opinion on her investments.
Oh.
Sorry, office.
We were just talking onions.
Wherever your investments are, get a second opinion. A free no-obligation review to make sure you're invested in what's right for you. You're richer than you think. Scotiabank.
Legendary performances have made Canada's juniors the gold standard in international hockey. And now, for the first time, those classics are available in a 4-disc box set. 7 complete games from the gold medal years take you from the beginning of Canada's program of excellence in 1982 to the incredible shootout with Team USA last year. It's the perfect holiday treat for the hockey historian and your family. Available at Best Buy.
Long live the noble spirit. Crown Royal. Long live the noble spirit.
I'm Chef Francesco, maker of Quiznos' new flatbread pizza. It's a whole new kind of pizza like you never had before. Thin Italian flatbread, brushed with herb oil, topped with fresh or gourmet sauces and premium toppings. Come and try it. My treat. Okay, I joke. It's your treat.
Fill up on barbecue chicken, big pepperoni, buffalo chicken, or the works from $3.99. Quiznos, a cut above. Great taste and great prices for dinner, too.
ESPN Classic is vintage cool. Call your local cable or satellite provider to order today.
Here at Fenway, Dennis Lamp has pitched very well. 2 2/3 innings of 1 hit shutout relief. He retired the Blue Jays in order and 11th. He's scheduled to face Tom Lawless, Nelson Liriano, and Junior Felix here in the 12th. Lawless up for the first time. He's at 185 with an RBI, and he looked at a strike. Lawless came on as a pinch runner in the 9th inning for Rance Mullenix. He stole second but was left standing at second base. And he chips in with a hit. He didn't crush it, but he found the hole on the right side, and Tom Lawless has the second Blue Jay hit off Dennis Lamp. Joe Price is now warming up in the bullpen, and the Blue Jays have the go-ahead run at first with nobody out.
I think the Red Sox got to be a little bit careful about what kind of pitching they have left here. They might be tempted to go with Dennis a little bit longer than they normally would.
Joe Price is warming up in the bullpen. Lawless draws a throw, the stolen the 9th with his 4th stolen base of the year. He's not been caught. Nelson Liriano's 1 for 5. He had an RBI single in the 8th. Boggs way in on the grass at third. Horn holds Lawless on. Liriano squared to bunt and took a ball. Of course, the Red Sox don't have much left in the bullpen. It's a lonely place for Dick Berardino at the moment. Just Joe Price left out there, and the bullpen catcher, and one ground crew attendant. Lawless at first with nobody out in the 12th. Ball game is tied at 11. The Blue Jays are now out hitting the Red Sox 15-13. Toronto's committed 4 errors. The Red Sox played error-free baseball. You can hear the Red Sox dugout, and Lamp gestured that he can't believe that wasn't a strike. They thought the first one was a strike too. That pitch might have been a little bit high. Well, the dugout is on Terry Cooney.
Well, if you're Dennis Lamp, you want that pitch.
Looked like a strike. The only place it would have missed was high. Now that's outside, says Cooney, and it is 3 balls and no strikes. Chicago Cubs remain hot. They beat St. Louis today 11-3. Sean Dunston hit 2 home runs. Mitch Webster, Ryan Sandberg, and Vance Law also homered. There's a strike to Liriano, 3-1. Terry Pendleton hit a 2-run homer for the Cardinals. And Houston is battling back. They fell behind Los Angeles 6-0 after 3 innings. Mike Scioscia hit a grand slam in the first. It's now 6-5, and they're in the bottom of the 9th at Houston. Liriano bunts it down the first baseline. Lamp to Romero covering. The play goes 1-4 on the sacrifice. And the Blue Jays have the go-ahead runner in scoring position. Lawless at second with 1 out in the 12th. Jim, this is one area of the game in which both teams have performed well, getting the bunts down, moving the runners along.
And once you get into late innings like this, these fundamental plays are the things that are going to win the game for you. You might occasionally get a big swing home run here or there, but everybody's been out here a long time. Pitching starting to get a lot sharper.
Junior Felix is the batter, 2 for 6 with a single and a double. He drove in a run with his double in the 7th, his 9th RBI of the series. Now he's trying to pick up Lawless from second. Hit well to right field. Kutcher looks up. That ball is gone. Way over the bullpen and down the ramp. Junior Felix, his 2nd home run of the series. He has now driven in 11 runs in the 3 ball games. And Toronto has a 13-11 lead.
This young man's got some pop in his bat.
Not a big guy at all. That ball was crushed. That was way over the bullpen. It landed in the leads down into the area beneath the bleachers. That was a shot. Look where that ball came down. Junior Felix, 2nd home run of the series, 4th of the year, 11 runs batted in 3 games. And Toronto leads 13-11. Blue Jays with the lead for the 2nd time. Tony Fernandez, 2 for 6 with a pair of singles. Those are the first runs allowed by Lamp. Dennis has worked 3 innings of relief. 16 hits for the Blue Jays now. Pop up back of third. Boggs and Reed over, and Boggs made the catch. No indication from Joe Brinkman whether that was in fair territory or foul ground. He was right along the line. 2 outs in the 12th. See if we can tell if Boggs was in fair or foul territory. Like he was just in foul ground from that angle. Strike 1 to Kelly Gruber. Gruber's 1 for 5 with a single his first time up. He walked and scored in the 5-run Toronto 9th. 1 ball, 1 strike. In the bottom of the 12th inning, the Red Sox have Boggs, Horn, and Kutcher scheduled to bat against Dwayne Ward. Blue Jays do have Frank Wills warming up again in their bullpen. The 2-1 pitch to Gruber. He swung at a ball out of the strike zone and missed. 2-2. High fly to left to Sasky. Waits under it on the edge of the warning track, and Nick makes the catch. That's all for Toronto in the 12th. The Blue Jays take the lead. Dennis Lamp yields a 2-run homer. A bomb to Junior Felix way over the bullpen. On to the bottom of the 12th inning. It's Toronto 13 and Boston 11.
In the spirit of the holiday, ESPN Classic spreads the cheer with an honor roll of sports miracles. Team USA's Miracle on Ice, the Miracle Mets World Series, and the Bills' stunning wildcard game comeback highlight a 24-hour marathon of some of the most spectacular and stunning moments in sports history. Christmas Miracles, all day December 25th, only on ESPN Classic.
Introducing a world first. The Braun Pulsonic. Powered with innovative sonic technology. Thousands of micro vibrations from the dynamic shaver head help capture more hair with every stroke for Braun's most thorough shave ever. The new Braun Pulsonic with sonic pulsing action.
Yeah, I reserved Guitar Hero 3 online. I'm here to pick it up.
Great game.
I also reserved Guitar Hero 3 online.
Okay. There's only one Guitar Hero.
And you're looking at him.
Guys, anything else?
Reserve the gifts you want online, like the Xbox 360 Holiday Bundle or an LG HD TV, and they're guaranteed to be here for pickup.
Hello, I'm a Mac.
And he's a PC, the best-selling computer platform in the industry.
What is this PC?
Oh, I hired a PR person, to smooth things over after that whole Vista problem.
By problem, he means a few early adopters have faced some minor challenges.
Yeah, some people even started downgrading back to XP.
Oh, that's too bad.
And by downgrading, he means they're upgrading to an older, more familiar.
And with your new operating system, Leopard, and its cool features, some people might even switch to you, so.
No comment.
This will get a run home, maybe more. Mosby going back, looking up, out of here, and into the black seats, the hitting background. There aren't many leadoff men who can launch one like that to dead center field. Canseco bids for the second homer of the inning. If it's fair, he's got it. And it settles into the upper deck.
Oh, my goodness.
A double by Weiss and a pair of monumental homers from Ricky Henderson and Canseco. So the Red Sox with work to do if they want to avoid blowing a 10-run lead for the first time in the history of the franchise. A strike to Wade Boggs. Boggs has 2 hits and has walked 3 times. He has scored twice. He's 2 for 3. He was intentionally walked last time up. He's facing Ward for the first time in the ball game. Chopped to second. Liriano throws him out. Horn and Kutcher scheduled to follow Boggs here in the 12th. Ward has now worked 2 1/3 innings. He is not allowed to hit. Sam Horn up for the first time. His average is 119. He has 5 hits and 42 at bats, 3 runs batted in. Still no word yet on Marty Barrett. He appeared to injure his right knee. That's what made it necessary for Sam Horn to come into the game for the first time in a regular season game at first base. Strike 1. Horn starting to get on track a little bit. 4 for his last 16. Coming off an 0 for 26 drought. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, they did what a pinch hitter wants to do, get a good rip at that first pitch.
That time it's Ward with a glance in at Terry Cooney. He thought that pitch was a strike. Cooney did not agree. It's 2 balls and a strike. Ward with a chance to pick up a win and make his 1-loss record a bit more respectable. He's 1-6. Big swing and a miss. 2-2.
That's the ball, Sammy. Come on now. Come on, stay on the ball now. Come on. Keep your head out. Come on.
The 2-2. Checked his swing. Dan Shaughnessy had a little note today in the paper about how out of hand appealing things that don't even resemble swings has gotten. And looked like Horn barely flinched, and Ernie Witt was pointing down to Joe Brinkman at third, but Terry Cooney didn't acknowledge it. He said, no way, it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Out of play.
I think one of the things that's happened with the TV replay, and a lot of players watch these, the highlights, and they see just how far a batter goes around on a play. And I think the more an umpire sees it, the more he might be conditioned to say that he went farther than it appeared. And that's why probably a lot of catchers are asking for a call on it. Television is great from that standpoint. It shows you just how far a hitter goes without making a full swing.
Hit well to center field. Mosby on the run, and he makes the catch. The ball hung up in the air just a bit. Mosby with terrific speed, and he had a ways to come, but he flagged down the line drive off the bat of Sam Horn. The Red Sox are down to their final out. As we mentioned, the Red Sox have never blown a 10-run lead and lost a game in their history. They're on the verge of it at the moment. A strike. One of the best fastballs Ward has thrown in his 2 2/3 innings. A strike. Two and 1. Red Sox have had a couple of chances in the extra innings to win it. They got Kutcher to third, to second with 1 out in the 10th, to third with 2 outs. And of course they had Reed at second base in the 9th.
And I think what you've seen is some of the talent that they've talked about earlier in the year with this Toronto Ball Club. There's no question that they've got some good bodies out here.
Well, Red Sox fans are disappointed, and justifiably so, with the way the team has played and with their record, but the Blue Jays record is significantly worse than the Red Sox, and that's even more mystifying because they're a very talented club too. Strike 3. Cooney rings up Kutcher on a pitch on the outside of the plate, and Ward finishes it off in style as he retired the last 9 batters he faced. And what an amazing win for Cito Gaston, just starting out his managerial career with the Toronto Blue Jays. And even if he manages this team for 20 years, he might never have an afternoon at the ballpark like he had today. And Joe Morgan hopes he never has one of these again.
Join ESPN Classic as we salute our Golden Boys with World Junior Weekend. Relive the rich history, the most exciting moments, and yes, a few heartbreaks. World Junior Weekend.